if you remember on Peter Pan, Wendy showed up and Wendy told Peter and the Lost Boys that they couldn't be kids forever. They couldn't have adventures and, you know, they couldn't keep, even though they were having adventures and having fun and all of those different things, they can't keep doing that. If you remember, Wendy told the Lost Boys, eventually you got to grow up. She even told Peter eventually he got to grow up. Wendy is trying to make Peter and the Lost Boys grow up. And the reason why she's trying to make them grow up is because the only way a boy can be useful to a girl is he has to grow up. He has to grow up. Once he grows up and he takes on the role of a man, he can then be utilized by the woman, right? The reason why Wendy went out of her way to shame the Lost Boys and to shame Peter Pan about being childlike and being boys, right, is the same reason that the women of today make you feel like crap about being a boy or being childlike, retaining some of your childhood innocence, right? What a lot of these women are trying to do is they are trying to drive all of the boyhood happiness out of you. They're trying to run it away from you so that you will become a shell of your former self, some mindless automaton that's just here for the purpose of doing her bidding or fucking giving her the comfortable life that she wants. And I told you this shit years ago. Men have to give up their childhood in order to be men. Women don't have to give up their childhood. When women are girls, they wear panties with hearts on it and flowers on it. When they become adults, they wear panties with hearts and flowers on it. When women are little girls, they play dress up. When they get grown, they play dress up. When they're little girls, they play with baby dolls. When they get grown, they get actual baby dolls. When they're little girls, they dress up like they're at a wedding and have tea parties. When they're grown, they go to weddings and have brunch. They don't have to fucking change. They don't have to kill a part of themselves to be women. But they expect you to kill part of yourself to be a man. The reason these women shame you about your inner child and have to do everything in their power to get rid of it is because the boy in you hasn't reached puberty yet, which means that part of you is not manipulated by their sexuality. The boy in you sees them for all of their bullshit. It is only the man in you that doesn't see it because you are blinded by your desire to have sex with them. That's why they have to get rid of the boy in you. Remember the scene in Dragon Ball? For all my Dragon Ball fans, all my Dragon Ball Z fans, remember the scene when Goku had the 4-star Dragon Ball and Bulma wanted it? And Bulma said, if you give me that 4-star Dragon Ball, I'll let you see my panties. And Goku said, what I want to see your dirty old fanny for? Before you hit puberty, you're thinking with your brain and not your penis. In fact, There's only 2 points in your life where you're thinking clearly as a male. It's when you're a boy before you hit puberty, and when you're a fully grown man after you hit 40. Those are the only 2 times in your life that you are thinking with a clear head. From puberty to 39, you're not thinking clearly. These are the years when you get fucked over the most. From puberty to your late 30s are the years that you are the most vulnerable, the years that you get screwed over. After 40 is when you make the most money that you'll ever fucking make and have the most clarity that you'll ever have. Before puberty is when you're the happiest that you'll ever be as a male child. And see, during those years between puberty to your 30s is when the women have gaslit you to the degree that they make you believe you're their problem and they're your solution, when it's really the other way around. They are your problem and you're their fucking solution, because the only way that they can function in this fucking okie doke that they keep pulling is they have to convince you that you ain't shit. They have to convince you that there's some improvement you gotta make. They have to convince you that you're not enough for them, so that your ass will keep striving to be what they want you to fucking be. The boy in you will recognize a horrible woman faster than the man in you will. Because there is nothing that the boy in you wants from that woman. The man in you wants sex from that woman. The man in you wants companionship from that woman. The man in you wants cooperation from that woman. The man in you wants submissiveness from that woman. And what that woman does is she dangles that shit in front of you like a fucking carrot in order to get you to move and do her bidding. This is why when women get to their 40s, they have so much difficulty in life. Because by the time they reach that age, the men are now at the age where sex is not a determining factor in their fucking equations and how they live their life. So the woman can no longer use sex to manipulate him, or the possibility of sex to manipulate him. That's why these women only thrive when you are at your sexual peak. This is why you see dudes getting fucked over, child support, divorce court, in their 20s. In their 20s and 30s is when you see men get fucked over the most. The average teenage boy is not dating a woman in her 20s, but the average teenage girl is always dating a dude that's 18 or older. So they're not just dream killers, they are innocence killers. I'm not saying that you should operate like a boy. What I'm saying is you should operate like a man, but the boy in you should remain a part of your psyche. Because the boy in you was the part of you that dreamed. That was the part of you that felt you could accomplish anything. That was the part of you that had limitless possibilities. This is what's going on with society. Nobody's noticed it. I've paid attention to it. What's going on with society is men and women are at two extremes. Men have had their inner child destroyed to the point where they are limited now. They can't be happy. They can't dream. They can't aspire to be more. Women's inner child has been encouraged so much that most of the grown women of today behave like children. We're at two opposite ends of the spectrum. Only the well-rounded adults know how to operate like adults, whether male or female, but still retain some of their childlike happiness, their childlike psyche that gives them the ability to experience joy, gives them the ability to dream, gives them the ability to believe in themselves. The world has not tried to destroy women's inner child. But there are some women who have willingly tried to destroy their own inner child. These are the women that you see that are CEOs of companies. These are the women that are executives. These are the women that you see that run companies, and they take on this male role, and guess what? They're fucking miserable, just like the men. They're miserable. They're miserable.